Testing, testing, one, two, three. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dave. How's everybody doing tonight? Today is going to be a shorter stream. What up, OG? Yeah. Can you guys hear me? What up, Bubba Shinobi? What's up, Dave? What's up, Braveheart Reefer 525? What's up, Exclusive? Hey, Exclusive, if you have a minute, man, please jump on. And maybe we could, tell some people how to, you know, what happened to you and how you can help. Maybe you can save someone some money, prevent them getting scammed. Hey, Braveheart Reefer 525, does that mean you have a Red Sea Reefer 525? That's a nice tank. Smokey's Reef, how you doing, Smokey's Reef? Thank you, Dave, loud and clear. Just sipping some coffee here, sipping some coffee. Give everyone a minute to trickle in. I don't really have a topic to discuss per se, but I thought we could wing it tonight like we do most nights. The Exclusive said, "Can't, man," sitting next to me. If it's Exclusive, if you don't mind, I'll tell them a little bit about what happened. So you let me know. Since the wife is sitting next to you, you let me know what I can and can't say. I'll hold off on the story. Braveheart says, yes, he has the 525. That is a very nice tank. I love that tank. Right behind me here is a Red Sea Reefer. I can't see it. What's it? Red Sea Reefer 350. Fishy Snowman. Wait, did I say fishy? No, that was OG's Fishery. What up, OG? I'm good, everybody. I'm good. It's just, sometimes with the Thursdays, my wife now works. In fact, she's getting ready to go to work now. So, on evenings now, I have a little bit more responsibility. Oh my gosh. Hey, honey. Hey, honey. I'm getting nervous now. I'm sweating. Hey, oh. Hey, honey. Thumbs up. Thanks. All good. Oh, you can tell the story. So, Exclusive. This is just a warning to everyone. When you're buying stuff, Exclusive said Apple denied his case, so he's out $350. Hey, what's up, Billy? When you're buying stuff on the forums, you just have to be careful. Never send, obviously, I think we know, never send anyone anything, money order, anything like that, because you have no recourse. Always send PayPal. And never send the PayPal friends and family, because PayPal friends and family, PayPal will not get involved at all. At least when you send regular PayPal, I mean, this is when you are, you're waiting for someone to ship something to you. At least the person has to ship with a tracking number, or you are protected. In terms of quality, like, PayPal's not going to care, but at least with PayPal, there's a tracking number. Like, they require a tracking number, or you have some kind of recourse. But when you're using Apple Pay, that's for transferring money between friends. So I'm sorry that happened to Exclusive. Yeah, this guy basically, sold something to Exclusive. Exclusive paid him. He did, excuse me, he didn't ship it. Then he put it back out on the market again. I ended up buying it, meeting the guy in person and buying it from the guy. But I'm sorry, you're out that money. Hey, what's up, Billy Pipes? What up, Reef Keeper? What up, O, and everyone in chat? Heavy Gun 1415. Are we going to drink bottles of Copa Pods tonight? You gotta ask Billy, man. He just put copepods in. So bottles of copepods look good. I wish this was a bottle of copepods. It's just regular old coffee. Regular old coffee. Mm. Yeah, so I'm really sorry. Exclusive is out 350 bucks. I am really, really sorry. But again, just use PayPal and um, just yeah, I know sometimes you could save a few bucks. You could save 2 or 3% by sending friends and family, but I always pay the extra 3% to just to be that extra little. Um, Exclusive. I actually bought it from him last week, Wednesday. I went and met him last Wednesday. Yeah, I went to the Bronx, Yankee Stadium. For those of you who are for those of you that know New York, um, many right by Yankee Stadium. McDonald's right there at Yankee Stadium. Yeah, I know Karma. Reef Keeper, I forget what is it. So Exclusive is getting a JBJ 45. Let me look that up. I don't think I've JBJ 45. Oh, there's a nano cube. Okay. Is it the rimless BioCube or is it the rimless or the all-in-one? Because I think they have a rimless version. I like the rimless version. Are you getting the BioCube or the yeah, Grand Oster? That is a legit McDonald's. Hello, Grant. For you guys, that is my boss, boss. That is my boss. So everyone say nice things about me. Let my boss see. Let my boss see you guys say nice things about me. So I'm under pressure. I'm sweating already. Whoop. The all-in-one, the new one, not the rounded corners. I saw that in person somewhere exclusive, and I absolutely like that tank. Um, yeah, I saw that in person somewhere, and I like it. I do like it. That is a nice. That is a nice tank with the ultra clear glass. I like it. I yeah. Um, Dicanthus. Oh, cannot be trusted. Thanks. Yep. Dave's nano tank. Yeah, that new JBJ. I like that tank. So I know you will. I like that tank. It's a 45 gallon. I know exclusive. You sold a bigger tank because I think you were changing jobs and traveling. But I like that little JBJ 45. And my wife just texted me and she told me, "Stop drinking coffee. You're drinking coffee too much." So thank you for that, honey. Thank you for that. Looking out. Let me take one last sip, and then I won't take a sip for 5 minutes. Well, 2 sips. There you go. No coffee for a while. All right. All right. There you go. Thanks, honey. Thanks for the background tips. Your wife will not let you go bigger than 45 gallon. I understand, but a tank is a tank. We all do what we have to do. We saw we some of us saw Ed's pictures where he has his tank in his bathroom. Well, all fairness to Ed, it's his second bathroom, but that was still awesome. Like the tank is literally right next to the to his toilet. But you got to do what you got to do. Like people don't understand how much of an obsession this is. So when you got to have a tank, you got to have a tank. Hey, Carlos 23 coffee break. Exclusive. Oh, how's your tank? Any SBS or sales softies? So, how long has it been since I've done a tank update? Um, Let me do this coffee thing first by Dacanthus. Wait, isn't it too late for a coffee? No, I fall asleep drinking coffee. I am a coffee holic, so no, it's not never too late for coffee. Um, my tank is doing all right, you know. Um, the LPS side with the the leather and the man, I'm drawing a blank here. With the like the oleophilia, that side is doing well. The SPS side, the stuff just isn't growing. It's gotten to the point now where I haven't lost anything, but my phosphates are like I can't test phosphates. Like I have the low range HANA ultra low range phosphorus checker. I thought I had it close here. That's what I was looking for. And it keeps telling me, keeps coming up as 200. So that means it's zero point 0.6 or above. I also have the ELOS test kit, and that's showing me that it's over 1. So I really don't know where my phosphates are at the minute. I've done some carbon dosing, vinegar vodka, and I've brought my nitrates down to 5, but the phosphates haven't moved. So what I did order was that's coming tomorrow is the HANA phosphate checker. I have the phosphorus checker. I'm getting the phosphate checker, which tests up to 2.5. So hopefully with that, I'll be able to at least get a handle on where my phosphates are. But my phosphates are high. And I think but my SPS, they're all brown. Most of them are brown. They still have beautiful polyps, and they're basing out on the rocks, and they're growing slowly, but um, it's just brown SPS corals. So I think the high phosphates and the high nutrients, um, is just keeping those brown, and it's going to take a while, but I'll deal with it. I'm happy with where the tank is. I'm not changing anything. The only time I put my hand in is if I need to glue something. I'm not changing anything. I haven't changed lights. I'm not changing anything. But so the tank is just settled, and I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it do what it do. Dave is saying it's never too late for coffee. Dave, never too late for coffee. Mm, never too late for coffee. And I also tip. I'm a big fan of eggnog. So what I do is I tipped a little bit of eggnog into it. So it's like eggnog coffee. Ah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Feed more. Feed more to get my phosphates down. Somebody got to give me the logic in that. I've actually been feeding such a little bit. Like my wife just took my coffee. You saw the shadows. She took my coffee. Um, I've been feeding so little that my fish look like my fox face, which was thick. He is like you could see his bones. So I think I can't feed any less. I just think I need to use GFO or something to just get those phosphates down. I've been doing water changes like 30%. I did a 30% water change last weekend. I'm going to do another 30% tomorrow. So we'll see if those 30%, hopefully with a 30% water change and a HANA checker that tests higher phosphate, hopefully I'll be able to see, like, because right now with my test kits, I can't tell if my 30% water changes are making a difference. So if I test 2.5 and I do a 30% and I see it coming down, then at least I'll know, okay, just do some more water changes and it'll come down. So I just gotta work on it. Guess I am a coffee lightweight. Energy drinks don't phase me, but a strong coffee makes me act up. Yeah, man, I'm just a coffee. I got instant coffee. I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I have another coffee machine here. I just love coffee. I don't know which other way to say it. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Pretty good. Oh, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Took a break from getting everything ready for Reef Palooza.
No, I just got off of work and just about to start running errands for Reefapalooza.
Ah, so
So,
if Reefapalooza, California is this weekend, right?
yes.
All right. And for everyone on the West Coast, Um, where is it? Just tell. Where is it going to be?
So this year we're at the Anaheim Marriott, which is right next to Disneyland. Um, Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You're not doing that pass thing where you can get in early Friday, early Saturday, early Sunday.
Yes, we do have the Diamond Passes available. There's, I think, last I checked, there's 10 left.
Hmm.
This is our first year of actually doing the Diamond Pass. We were actually kind of shocked that we sold so many of them. So,
Isn't it the same thing that happened in New York where they were sold out and
yeah, but New York got bought up by all of the most of the YouTubers bought the Diamond Pass. In California, there's hardly any YouTubers, so the majority of these people are just coral collectors. So they're trying to get in and get the jump on everybody else simply because most of the really best corals sell to the exhibitors before the show even starts.
I think a lot of that, I understand what you mean about YouTubers, but I think a lot of, when I got in early Saturday, there were a lot of people that were there to shop or collect or just looking for that showpiece.
Well, there's only 50 passes
That's it.
that we do in all of these. So if you figure, I mean, the group of you guys that were there on Friday, that was probably, I mean, it seemed like at least 15 people in that group. Um, that's only 35 other people shopping. So it's still not a lot of people who are coming to do that. So yeah.
All right. I hope the show is successful this weekend, and I hope, next year I'll be able to check out. Never been to California, so hopefully next year I can make it out to Reef, California.
Well, the weather's nice, and we actually got completely clear skies. We just had rain yesterday, but it was, it's been, low 80s, high 70s. The great time to come to Cali. So,
I'm gonna just shift back to, I was just talking about my phosphates, and I've
oh
been
yeah,
texting you and asking you
right.
about. So I had high nitrates, high phosphates. I did carbon dosing, and that
Right.
lower. Now they're making fun of me in the chat. Now they're saying they hear the diamond pass can lower my phosphates, which, if it could, I would buy one. Um, but I did carbon dosing over the course of, and I've done carbon dosing before, so I'm not a newbie to it. I'm not a newbie to it. I've done it with multiple tanks, so I kind of know when I'm overdoing it. I did a vinegar vodka mix. I think the vodka works better than
It does. It's stronger.
that yes versus, but it gives cyano. So I usually mix the two, but you
Hmm.
don't mix an entire bottle at a time because if it's there for more than a couple weeks, you develop like some kind of slime in it. I don't know what that is. So I just mix maybe I'm going
Right.
to use for 2 weeks. So the nitrates are down to about 5. I tested with 2 test kits, but the phosphates,
Hmm.
I can't get it down. I've tried, what is it called? Phosguard. I know you said GFO is a better product, but I was because I needed to put a tall reactor to tumble GFO. I just thought, instead of putting a new piece of equipment, just try to just use everything that's already at my disposal before you try something new.
Right.
And it didn't. I don't know if it's not working, but I mean, I only have a checker that goes up to zero point 0.6, and everything I
Right.
do, I can't get it below zero point 0.6 to get a reading. So I do have that phosphate checker coming tomorrow. So
Right.
hopefully that'll give me some better readings.
But if it still comes out at zero point 0.6 and your nitrates are at 5, you're right there in the proper ballpark of where you should be. Meaning the ratio is correct. So carbon dosing should work. Like I've said many times, if either your phosphate or nitrate are bottomed out, you're not going to reduce the other. But if they're in the proper ratio, in that ballpark of 16 to 1, 8 to 1, 30 to 1, anywhere in that range, you should be able to lower them both with a form of carbon dosing.
Okay. All right. So I will. So tomorrow I have another big water change on the horizon. Going to be tomorrow's water change is going to be vacuuming the sump, cleaning the skimmer, probably putting that Bubble King skimmer on.
Okay.
But I don't think the skimmer had anything to do with my nutrients being high. It's just I just have a Bubble King skimmer, so why not use it?
Okay, let me give you a few little tips. One thing you said to me just a little bit ago was, or said to the group, was that you felt vinegar didn't work as well as vodka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but it takes 8 times as much vinegar as vodka. So if you're dosing 10 milliliters of vodka, you need to dose 80 milliliters of vinegar to have the equivalent carbon. So it can be just as effective, but it just takes 8 times the amount to do it.
Takes 8 times the amount.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
8 times. Vinegar is 5% carbon. Vodka is 40%.
I think I was more along the lines of 5 times. I don't think I was 8 times.
Right. So you were dosing less carbon than when you were dosing vodka.
Vodka. Okay.
So that's first and foremost. So the other thing that you also got to keep in mind is you're talking about the protein skimmer. A bigger protein skimmer is going to have a better ability at oxygenating the water, which is a key part that's in play when you're talking about bacteria. Bacteria they consume a lot of oxygen. So the bigger skimmer is going to play a part there. You may get faster replication of your bacteria. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that it has more power to pull out organics. So that is always better for carbon dosing. Both of those two factors. So you may see a difference come putting that skimmer in.
Okay. One of the other difference I'm hoping to see is this Bubble King skimmer pulls more air, and I pull air from outside.
Right.
So you know what? I have it, so I think I would just try.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what your pH numbers change to with the change.
Well,
they're going to go up.
I have a brand new pH probe. I calibrated it last week. So I calibrated it to have a week of correct readings and a week of readings off the new skimmer. So I'll be able to provide some concrete data. I also have That's awesome. Brand new Senai slide. So I'm not only depending on the Neptune thing, I'm also using the Senai as a backup. So there'll be 2 data sources. So hopefully that gives me something concrete.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I know Exclusive has been asking a question. He has a JBJ45, and he's asking MP10 or the 1K gyre. Exclusive, you know me and those gyres. I haven't seen anyone answer, but I'm just a fan of the MP10, and also because of the company Ecotech. So especially if you're buying that thing new, I mean, they just support they'll do a lot to support their products. I don't want to turn this into a Coral View bashing, but I just trust Ecotech equipment over a Coral View, a Gyre. That's just me.
It's not even on there.
We said
I like Tunzi, so my choice isn't even one of his choices.
I like Tunzi.
But it's simply because it's an easy pump to clean, to deal with. I mean, it's just simple.
Someone. Oh, I heard the Diamond Pass can lower. Come on. All right. You know what? If it could lower phosphates, I'd buy a Diamond Pass. I'd buy a Diamond Pass. I would. And someone's explaining what the Diamond Pass is. I like the Diamond. I got in early, and I was able to shoot some video, just talk to people. I always go to these events with the intention to like shoot so much video, and then what ends up happening, I end up just talking to people, and then it just feels so impersonal to just shove a camera in your face, and and then you sit there, you have like a great hour conversation with Roger from Tunes, and then it just feel like at the end of that conversation to like shove a camera and said, "Hey, can I interview you now?" So what I do is the first day when we went to Macna, I just talked to everyone, no cameras, no filming, and then the few interviews I did, I told them, "Hey, can I come back tomorrow and interview you?" And I think that was so. So when we were there Saturday, it was all business, but Friday was my day to just talk to everyone and just see how everyone is doing. It worked out a lot better for me, even though Saturday I ended up talking a lot and still, but I always have a good time at these shows.
Yeah, I have a blast myself.
Someone is saying you could run GFO, but you would have to be really careful with it. I think I have GFO. I have both the high capacity BRS GFO and regular GFO. And again, I can run GFO. It's just that right now I'm using the BRS mini reactor for carbon. And to tumble GFO properly, I would have to put a taller reactor on. And I was just to see if, I didn't have to, just change the equipment I was using, because I'm using a PMUP right now. I don't have a way to like lower the flow. I just let it flow through the carbon. That way I'd have to cut the line. I'd have to put something so I can tune the flow. I just didn't, I tried everything without doing any modifications to the tank first. But if I need to do GFO, if it comes to that, but again, it all depends on the reading. I'm not going to make any major changes because the SPS are brown, but they're growing. So I'm fine with growing. And then, I'm sure the colors would come back later. So Shane Leonard is saying, let the refugium take it out for you. I am running a refugium that is more than 10% of my system volume, and it's being lit by like a $300 Kessel. And I don't know, man. It's not keeping up. I don't know if something died or something happened in the tank. Because I was always keeping my phosphates at 0.2, 0.3. And then I guess I didn't test for a month and it was high. I don't know what happened. I don't think my feeding habits changed. I don't think anything changed. So I don't know if something died. I have no idea. But we'll see. Dicanta says, how high are they? If they are pretty high, you might end up burning through GFO too fast. Water changes or lanthanum chloride might be more efficient. What do you think about lanthanum chloride?
I think GFO is too cheap not to use.
Oh.
Lanthanum chloride it can be harmful to the fish's gills. So I'm not a huge fan of it. Don't have an aversion to it though. So I mean, you can use it. There's safe ways of using it. It's just, I mean, GFO is so readily available.
And I don't use filter socks. I think an important part of using lanthanum chloride is you need to have filter socks to clear it. And because I tried it already and my water was cloudy for about an hour. And I think that's the phosphate precipitate.
Yep.
And I don't run filter socks, so I think there was nothing until it got a chance to settle out wherever it did. There was no mechanical filtration to sort of pull it out the water column. So,
Right.
um, and it is I know Malev Reef uses these little packets. Prodibio is Prodibio um, lanthanum chloride basically.
No, it's a bacteria.
Oh,
It's
so
a bacterial system. You have the biodigest, which is the bacteria. You have the what's the other one? Biodigest. There's another one that's the carbon source, and yeah, it's a carbon source. And then there's another one that's a hoofa fatty acid with that the Reef booster is the hoofa fatty acids with geez, I can't remember what else is in them. I used to run Perdibio when it first came out. I was like one of the first people to run it because I was too lazy to do Zeovit. So,
does it help to lower phosphates?
yeah, I mean, just it's like carbon dosing. I mean, it's another form. It's another form of carbon dosing,
Okay, I
but
see.
not carbon dosing. Excuse me, bacterial dosing
Dosing.
and carbon dosing. So what they're doing is you're giving your system a jump start of bacteria by putting in a high concentration of bacteria along with a little bit of carbon, and it's very little. So I mean, you could kind of add a little to it and add a little more carbon dosing to the mix, which would just make it more effective. But the goal is for this bacteria to consume the nitrates and phosphates, and then your skimmer pulls it out.
Okay,
Are
I
you still
see.
there? Oh,
Yeah, I'm still here. I see. I was thinking. I see. Malev says when he has high phosphates, he sort of uses the Prodibio.
mm-hmm.
So I thought it was something like lanthanum chloride, where
No,
you put it in and it takes out. So um,
no, it's just an alternative to Zeovit or to Microbacter 7, uh, or I think it's more closely related in their technique to like a Microbacter 7 or a Dr. Tim's Waste Away. Um, it's just meant to add the bacteria to the system to help give it a jump start, basically.
I see. I gotcha. Dave is asking, are you dosing Kalkwasser? Oh, yes, I am dosing Kalkwasser because if I do not drip Kalkwasser at night, my pH gets dangerously low. So hopefully, I'm doing half Triton, half carbon. So hopefully, with this new, skimmer, if it's pulling enough air, I can stop the Kalkwasser. Because to be honest, it's been a pain trying to balance dosing full magnesium because Kalkwasser doesn't have magnesium. So dosing full magnesium of Triton, but lowering the calcium and alkalinity, and it's just been trying to balance it has just been it's been a pain. So I if this new skimmer pulls as much air as I think it will, I will just I'll stop dosing the calc. That's one less piece of equipment. That's one less piece of equipment I have to run. So I'm thankful for that. Hopefully it works. Um, so I just saturate Kalkwasser, a gallon of Kalkwasser, and just dose every night. Hey TMG, what's up? What's the topic? We don't have a topic, but so far we're talking about phosphates. Hello Tina. Hello Dave. Getting there, Brian. O needs to lower his phosphates and nitrates. Yes, he does. Hey, what up, Biz? Carbon dosing and GFO. I just gave y'all an hour of your lives back. Thanks. That's it. I think we got it solved. Carbon dosing and GFO.
I'd never recommend that. The two work against each other.
Ah,
Once you take the phosphate down to zero, carbon dosing will do absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the GFO is absolutely capable of doing that. So I don't ever recommend using the 2, simply because it has the ability to take your red field ratio out of whack.
Okay. So if like I said, if you measure and my nitrates are 5 and my phosphates are 0.6, you're saying that's within range. Like I'm fine. It's just okay. All right.
You just need to keep carbon dosing.
Okay. All right. So like TMG saying dose iron, but I think that's just TMG's answer to everything.
Well, you do have a refugium, so I mean, when you were talking about the refugium, first, either I was in a bad area or you were breaking up. I didn't hear, what light are you running on your refugium?
Oh, the Kessel, the $300 Kessel H380.
Wow.
And
listen, down, huh?
The refugium grows like, there's been a few people on here. Hey, Alex G. There's been a few people here where, you know what I used to do? I used to like basically give away my Chato. I say, hey, even now, like you guys can message me on Facebook. If anyone needs Chato, like I would literally stuff like a coffee bottle with it, you know, like a half a gallon coffee bottle with it and ship it to you. Just send me a shipping label.
Right.
Like I grow so much of it.
So if that's the case, I have to agree with your friend who just said you had iron. I forgot about the refugium.
But
I wouldn't do any carbon dosing.
Do you think? But I'm doing Triton. I thought Triton. So are you saying maybe I should get an iron? Maybe instead of me checking iron, I should just get a. You know what? Let me look at my last ICP test.
Typically, iron and manganese are 2 things that are depleted by algae growth.
You know, I kind of learned that when I bought a Pax Bellum reactor, and it came with all these things that I could not pronounce: molybdenum, iron, manganese.
Yep.
Oh wow, the Triton website has gotten way better. Oh wow. Okay. Let me look at my last ICP test and see. I think every time I do these ICP tests, though, it just tells me my phosphate is really high. It doesn't tell me that, you know, it doesn't. Everything else seems to be within, you know, range.
Right.
But I mean, an iron test kit is not. It's not something. The Chato grows so well. The Chato grows so well. Like I ended up pruning it and throwing it and giving it away. I used to, whenever I empty my refugium about once a month, I take out the Chato, I dry it, and then I weigh it. I dry it overnight and then weigh it. And I'm getting anywhere from, every time I clean out the refugium, every 5 to 6, let's say every 6 weeks, I get about a little less than a pound of Chato, dry weight of macroalgae.
Right.
So I get a lot from it. Like I get a lot. I'm just not. Now you guys have me thinking that maybe I dropped my HANA checker and it doesn't work.
How many? That's a possibility too.
Well, to be honest, I dropped my alkalinity checker and it broke, and I had to buy a new one because I noticed that I was testing and it was always 7. Curiously, it was always 7, and then I got the calibration solution, and that said 7, and it shouldn't have said 7. So I ended up having to get a new HANA checker because one was broken. But to go from 0.3 to 0.6 and can't bring it below, maybe.
Yeah.
Dave is saying, doesn't Triton give you those elements that yeah, supposedly in Triton, the full Triton, it has elements for macroalgae to grow. I think it's interesting, but I don't think I would do it. You know what? I'm getting a new I'm getting a new phosphate checker tomorrow. Hannah checker phosphate with new bottles. Oh, another thing I'm getting tomorrow is I'm the I've been guilty of this in the past where I've kind of tested and not emptied my bottles immediately. And I spoke to Kevin from Hannah Instruments at Mac, and he said, "Do not do that." He said you need to clean them out with RODI water before you test because if your bottles get stained, you know it's a lamp, and if there's anything that stains the bottle, it could. So tomorrow, I'm changing all my Hannah Checker bottles, and I'm getting a new Hannah Checker. So I'll let everyone know tomorrow.
Awesome.
I will let everyone know tomorrow. I'm trying. Um, Jeff is asking, what do you think about BRS's 12 DKH experiment that got 70% more SPS growth? Did you watch that video, Greg?
Yeah, I used to run my alkalinity at around 11 and a half on my last tank, 10 and a half to 11 and a half. Oh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here for more growth.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But there's, what happened is at some point in time, we started running these bacterial systems and people started having issues with STN and so forth. But when I first started, I knew several reef keepers that tried to keep somewhere around 12 and a half. That was like the norm for them for their alkalinity.
So why are we now on the other end where, like, even Triton, we try to do everything natural seawater where we're at 7?
Some people say the corals are better colored when they're keeping a lower alkalinity. I've never seen it. I thought my corals looked great when my alkalinity was that high. Ryan and them, they experienced the same thing. Personally, I saw more growth, and most of the SPS guys here in California, we all were keeping it that high. That's what Tyree used to keep it at. That's what everybody kept it at. Well, no, not Tyree. Excuse me, not Tyree. I take that back. But some of the other big reefers down here ran high alkalinity. But like I said, when we started getting into the bacterial systems, dosing bacteria and whatnot, a lot of people started losing coral, and they attributed it to the high alkalinity. So we cut back on that. But the recommendation of keeping a low alkalinity has kind of gone by the wayside because nobody does it anymore.
So interesting, the high alkalinity. So do you think running like a 10 and a half alk will help sort of my pH issue where because I'm in an apartment and it's locked up, my pH. Oh, I didn't even need to. You're sure? 100% yes.
Higher alkalinity is gonna keep your pH more stable.
Higher, okay. I am going to, as soon as I get this phosphate. One thing I've learned, if there's one thing I've learned this year, in the last 6 months in reefing, is don't change one thing at a time. So the fact that I'm trying to fix my phosphates now, the next thing I will do after is try a higher alkalinity, one change at a time.
Yeah, nothing good happens fast. So yeah, change one thing at a time, be patient, see how it works.
That's not just a cliche that people just repeat?
No. Not in this hobby.
I had to be sure, man, because there's, for a lot of things, there's just a lot of cliches that people repeat and they don't mean a thing. What you're saying, absolutely correct.
Yeah. I prefer to keep things simple. And for some, when we started talking, like for instance, when we started talking about carbon dosing, I forgot that you had said you had a refugium. Those are two things that do the same thing. Embrace one or the other. You got the refugium, you got the light, embrace it and run run it hard. If it's not, if your refugium is not keeping the numbers down, run the light longer, run the light, more powerful. That's that would be the routine that I would recommend.
Okay.
Because you're not running 24/7, right?
No, I'm running like 10 hours.
10 hours. So either increase the intensity a little bit.
You can increase the intensity, but when I met my refugium light that I'm running, I have to warn everyone who I send macroalgae to. You do need to act right in the middle where the Kessel, right under the Kessel light. The par is about anywhere from 12 to 15. Like, it's really intense. If you take this Chaeto and you try to put it under shop lights, like, it's gonna die. Or vice versa. If you take like shop light Chaeto and then try to put it under these lights, because I think, I think even Exclusive was in earlier. I think Exclusive kept getting Chaeto. So I run a refugium in my kid's nano tank. And if I take Chaeto from this tank to put there, to be honest, Dave made me some lights that are even more powerful par-wise. So when I'm taking Chaeto from 1500 par to that tank, I'm running that. I had to start my son's tank at. I think I was doing for 4 hours a night, half an hour on, half an hour off, and I got that from Ryan. And Ryan said, yes, we killed a lot of Chaeto trying.
And they did.
So he said he said start with half an hour on, half an hour off, and do that for 4 hours, and then slowly bump it up, until you can get 8 hours, which is going to be 4 on, 4 off every half an hour. And then he said start, eliminating some of those off times. Right. So I don't think my Chaeto, I don't think, maybe I can put it closer, but I don't think. You know what, man? You guys really have me thinking.
Increase the hours.
Go more than 10?
Or one. I mean, I don't know how you're. Sorry about that noise. I just pulled into Costco and someone. But another thing you can do is a little trick that I used to do, which is run 8 hour on, 8 hour off, 8 hour on, 8 hour off. So you're really running 3 photo cycles in 2 days. So there's other ways of doing it. It's just you want to get the most out of it in the end.
Dave is saying, would you try running your Fuge 24/7 before doing anything drastic? So what I'm going to do? I am going to. I don't think I'm going to take. I'm not going to make any changes. I'm not going to make any decisions until I get my HANA checker tomorrow. But depending on what that HANA checker tells me, what I might do is get the nutrients down, whether it's through continuing with the carbon dosing or I'm doing more water changes. And once I've gotten it low, slowly turn the refugium time up and back off the carbon dosing and see if the refugium can hold it. Maybe the refugium can't, lower it, but maybe it can hold it low if it's low.
Right.
It's worth trying it.
I think you definitely have the power light-wise. It's just a matter of getting the algae to grow enough to consume the nitrate and phosphate.
Someone is saying 12 DKH would be, to hold your DKH at 12, you have to dose more 2-part. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can, once you get it there, you can keep it high simply with a calcium reactor if the calcium reactor is big enough.
Oh, calcium reactor. I mean, I'm doing Triton. Triton's like gold now. Triton's like crack. Well, let me not use that joke, but Triton's like, these days Triton is like, hard to get.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Love Triton. It was oh man, I heard
I heard some under the cuff jokes at Triton at Macna where you walk in and they were promoting, and guys like, oh yeah, they're promoting, but if I wanted to buy it now, I couldn't get it. Which, you know, I like Triton, but that made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
That made me laugh a little bit. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Hey, what's up, Woody's Reef? Thank you for joining. I know it's like 3 a.m. in the UK, but I appreciate you stopping by.
Wow.
So I think I have a plan. Yeah. Oh yeah. Those guys are nuts. Calcium reactor. I was talking to Jeff, Daily Reefing, and the one thing I didn't know, and I think I mentioned this to you at a phone conversation, I didn't realize that you could actually get those smaller CO2 canisters.
Yes,
I
the
thought
paintball guns.
I didn't know those. I thought the only like Jeff was demonstrating, even a 10-gallon one is. I was ignorant. Like the only one I ever knew about was the big gigantic ones. I didn't know that you can get smaller canisters.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Definitely.
I didn't know that. So definitely thinking about it. I'm working out some stuff, but I'm definitely thinking about it. Dicantha says calcium reactor. He's using a calcium reactor himself, and 10 to 11 is easy with it. A 12 DKH frag is a hand dose one. So 10 to 11 with a calcium reactor is easy. All right.
You just have to get it there first. Calcium reactors, where you run into problems is when you start trying to raise alkalinity with your calcium reactor.
So Exclusive is saying you will need to refill that canister very often. So if I have a 10-pound one and I have to refill it 2 times a year, I think I'm okay with that. And I think someone told me like welding shops and places like that, you can refill it pretty easy.
Yes.
Oh, there's one like two. There's a couple there's multiple welding and body shops 3 blocks away from where I live.
Here in California, in a lot of the nation, they have a place called Air Gas. You can get pretty much any type of gas, oxygen, nitrous oxide, all that stuff. So, I mean, it's easy for us. We just do an exchange on the bottle, and it's a piece of cake. You walk in, you tell them you need CO2, you leave your bottle outside, they give you a brand new bottle.
So, Biz says he has to refill his like a couple times a year. How big is your tank, Biz? Another guy, Noble Reef, is saying he's had a 5-pound running for a year and didn't need a refill. So
he's not running much CO2.
Listen, I'm okay with refilling it 2-3 times a year. If it's a 5-pound one.
Right.
All you do is you look when it's running low and you just, have 2 and you go refill the other one.
Yes, I always had 2 myself.
It's not, I think.
There's 8 of them.
You have 8?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm at Costco.
Oh, I was about to say,
I had to buy gifts for the exhibitors.
Hello, Mr. Alex.
Hello.
So I think blue carbon, quick summary, like I'm having high phosphate issues. So everyone was helping me with my phosphate issues. And I think the last 5 minutes, I think I am being slowly coerced. I'm using coerced because my wife is listening. So I'm being coerced to get a calcium reactor. So yes,
honey. Easier.
Yes, honey, it's gonna make your corals grow faster and better.
That's what we all want.
Yeah. And your anemones too. They'll grow faster.
I don't know about the anemones.
Hey. Play along. Play along.
Okay.
Play along. Play along. Play along. But yeah, so I think Jeff recommended like a carbon doser. He said do this. Carbon doser is going to make your life easier instead of counting bubbles. Like this one is nice, and it from what he said to me, it wasn't cheap, but I'm okay with.
$300.
We don't. When the wife is watching, we don't say
How
prices.
much?
Never mind. They're like $20 each. You can find them on sale for like 20.
What kind of carbon doser do you have, Alex?
I'm using the regular carbon doser.
I think I confused Blue. No, it's switching to a calcium reactor. It's not going to help with phosphates. It's not going to help with phosphates. I think we already finished the phosphate, and I have an action plan of what to do with phosphate. So, I'm getting a new phosphate checker tomorrow, and Greg thinks that my 5 nitrates and 0.6 phosphates, if it is that, it's within range and just keep carbon dosing. But I think my ultimate plan.
No, not anymore. I changed my mind. No more carbon dosing.
Oh, okay.
Let's work this
All right.
refugium.
All right. So the plan is to, through massive water changes over the next couple of weeks, do massive water changes, take the phosphates down with the water changes, and then either increase the light cycle or the intensity of the refugium to try to get the phosphates down and hold them low.
Yeah, it's because you don't want to lower your nitrate anymore if you're at 5.
Yeah. You can also, when you get that calcium reactor going, dump your effluent into the calcium reactor.
Into the refugium.
Into your refugium. Yeah.
I've heard.
That's what I do for mine.
Sanjay says, I saw a video where Sanjay said he put his into his Pax Bellum reactor, and he ended up having to take it out because it made the Chaeto grow too fast.
That sounds about right because you're giving it a nice CO2 supply.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but he said it was growing too fast and I had to empty it too often, so I just took it out. Diacanthus. Yes, O likes to play with his ideas. Yes, he does. I have a carbon doser too. Good stuff. So yes, it was really good meeting. I met a lot of people at MACNA, and I'm sorry I don't remember some of your YouTube names, but it was fun to see a lot of people at MACNA. It was good to meet everyone. Had a lot of good conversations. It was MACNA was good. MACNA was good. Dave said that an hour ago. Yes, you did, Dave. I am sorry. I am terrible with the chat, Dave. We know that. I'm sorry. Hey, I saw what was it? Mass Aquariums, man. Like, I'm gonna see you. We're gonna be seeing Mass, the aquatic experience, in a couple of weeks. So Mass, I can't wait to meet you in person. I know we've chatted over live streams, but I'm gonna be at the aquatic experience probably on the Saturday. So I'm definitely going to be checking out the My Aquarium Box booth. Definitely going to meet Mass. That should be fun. Calcium reactor going into the Fuge is great. I will say it's pretty explosive growth increase. All right, there you have it. It's done. It's sold. I am locking the ideas down tonight. There you go. Lock it in. I saved it. I dated it. So now I just have to figure out the schedule. So it's done.
There you go.
No more requests. I can take no more requests.
I gotta say, I do like having my reactor. It does make life a lot easier.
Your calcium reactor. You have a giant calcium reactor. What is it, a Geos?
It's a Geo. It's the biggest one they make commercial.
If you don't mind me asking, with a 90% reduction in cost, like what did that thing cost you?
So everything, including the tank and getting a pump, I'd say it was around. I want to say it was probably around $2,000 to $2,100.
$200. Woo!
No. Yeah. $200. Yeah. But let me just to make it clear what a difference it is. So I went to Airgas. Now I got a 20-pound CO2 cylinder, which is it's the only size down from a tank that weighs well over 150 pounds, which I was tempted to get just so I don't have to do refills often. But I leased it from Airgas for $90 a year, and then it's like $20 to get a refill whenever that is. But I did go with a carbon doser for a regulator.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that don't like them out there and have had bad experiences with them. But I think that for the cost and it kind of has a little bit of built-in redundancy with it, how it actuates, compared to buying like a good 2-stage stainless steel or building one. Buying one of those is over $1,000 for that regulator. Most people build them and they can do it for a couple $100, but I don't know. This just looked like a lot easier way to go.
I'm shocked you're able to use one on such a large system. You must not have a huge demand, because a lot of people, their complaint is that they have to open it all the way up. We got a guy here that's got a 1,500-gallon SPS system, and his is wide open on the carbon doser. He can't turn it up anymore.
Well, and so the one thing with it is that, because I played around with this thing for quite a while and I did it very slow, is your low pressure side of your regulator and how much pressure you're putting on it, because I think it'll do a maximum of about 40 psi on the low pressure side is all that the carbon doser is rated for. But that low pressure is what, between your low pressure setting and your second count on how often it opens, is what really determines your carbon amount. Because even turning it up a pound or two without changing the second rate, it's got more pressure on it, so when that piston opens, it lets more gas through because it has a higher pressure. So, I mean, I don't have mine turned up very much at all right now, but I got a decent demand in here, but before I had this reactor, I was dosing 3 to 4 cups a week of alkalinity and 3 to 4 cups of calcium.
Yeah.
So, and I think one cup of alkalinity will raise my whole system by 0.3 DKH. So, and I was using the Fritz stuff. So when you look at the cost of doing this stuff and then the cost of the calcium reactor gets a lot cheaper.
Absolutely.
Big shout out to Dave's Nano Tanks for being smarter than Seymour. I thought you were supposed to be the smartest guy on YouTube. Now I know that it's Dave's Nano Tanks.
How did you get in?
Dave sent me he sent me some crazy link through my email and.
All right. Billy, what's up with the new logo, man, with the crab?
That's my mug logo, bro.
Oh.
Because you know me, I'm always crabby. I could be all nice, but then all of a sudden I'll just turn on you.
Oh my gosh, that is.
Big weekend coming up there, huh, Greg?
Yeah, I'm heading to the convention center right now.
Boy, how far are you from it?
Probably about 5 miles right now.
No, I mean, how far do you live from it?
Oh, maybe about 7 miles.
Damn, that's a drive, huh?
I live in the city right next door to Anaheim, so it's in California. I mean, at this time, it's not too bad. I mean, I'm going like 70 miles an hour, but had I left at 5, yeah, that could be an hour to go.
You gotta hire some. You gotta hire some kid man to make videos.
Yeah.
The quality of tubers making videos out there, no good. No good.
Yeah, and why is that? I don't understand. Like, why? I don't think we're all on the East Coast. Well, we are,
Yes,
but
you are. You're all on the East Coast.
But what is that just? It's just coincidence or what?
People have. I guess you guys may have more time on your hands.
What? No.
We're fast paced over here, bro. We're fast paced.
That is not true.
Not fast paced enough for O to have a car.
I don't have a car. I don't even have a driver's license. I can't even play driving video games.
Lord, that's bad.
Jeez.
I can't. It's just the truth, man.
He knows how to take that phone and call an Uber, though, don't he?
Hey, just one click.
Or just public transportation.
That's it. Uber ready.
Yeah. Hey Siri, call it Uber.
Does that work now?
I'll need to access your Uber data to do this. Is that okay?
No. But just to it's why would I spend so much time stuck in traffic?
No, I hear you.
Yeah, but I still find it like in California where everyone wants to be in a movie business, like YouTube is a great place to start. That if you have a reef tank, you start making awesome reef tank videos and then it could transition to bigger things.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm really,
So if you move to Jersey or PA, you're going to move somewhere where there's public transportation, right?
No, by that time I'll relent. But, Uber's in Jersey now. Uber's in your town, dude, so.
I know.
Yeah, so,
I don't like them rolling in my neighborhood.
Hey. Oh, look at that.
Pick that puffer up, Alex. Pick it up. Do the right thing.
Thank you.
Do it. Let him nibble on your finger.
Still hungry. Spitting water at me.
Right?
You already ate like a whole shrimp, dude.
Get more, man. It's a big tank. You can afford the room.
Oh, and I gotta dump the rest of the food in for the other fishies. I gotta watch my new fishies eat.
Yeah, I know. I think Stephanie's going to be at Reefapalooza. Wow, but even when like the Orlando Reefapalooza gets covered, a lot of the people who go to Orlando Reefapalooza, they don't live in Orlando.
Exactly.
So why don't they just
but you still live on the East Coast where you guys got plenty to do. Or don't have plenty to do. You got lots of time on your hands. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
No, listen, our lives are so much busier. Well, we're bedding down for the night now, and you still have sunlight, probably.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Dark. Oh, all right. So, I don't know what it is, man. It's just, I don't know. I've never been on the. I've never
Yeah,
been on the West Coast.
How big is the show out there compared to other ones?
About the exact same size, anywhere from
Same.
3,500 to 4,500 people. We've had as many as 5,600, but that was at our old venue. But there were other shows, so we got a lot of cross traffic from other shows.
Gotcha.
But you get as much traffic as the other shows, and I still don't like. I remember last year when they said, "Oh, Reefapalooza was last week." Like I remember looking on YouTube, and I couldn't. There was one video about Reefapalooza on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I found two videos. One was by a lady who was just blogging, who just happened to be at Reefapalooza, but there were no Reefapalooza. And you know what happens is, because next year, when anyone starts searching the Orlando Reefapalooza, they see all the videos from the previous year, so they get a feel of what the show's like. And I just,
that is one problem with it.
I'll put that in.
In the past, I have done, back before YouTube, I was dibble dabbling with Periscope. So I do a few live things, mainly for my one friend in Canada, Kevin, so that he could get a feel of the show, and a few other friends would come on live. But I kind of stopped doing that. I'm just so busy at the show. It's hard to make the time.
I understand. So hopefully Stephanie and some other ones.
I hope they go live during the show.
I hope so too. I am gonna send her a message on Discord and tell her she needs to go live. Reefapalooza. It needs to happen.
And if worse comes to worse, you can go live and I'll come on and I'll walk around the show with the camera. But
all right. Well, listen, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll see what we can do. Dave is asking, Billy, how is the new skimmer working out?
I answered that question like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry. My bad.
I didn't plug it in yet.
Call Me Nemo says in Japan, people who don't drive but have a driver's license are called paper drivers. Well, I am not a paper driver because I don't even have a driver's license.
I'm not even a video driver because you can't even play video games.
Hey, man, I can't. Grand Theft Auto, like the worst game I've ever played was like Grand Theft Auto or Need for Speed. I love Need for Speed. I'm just not very good at it, even on the easy setting.
Greg, I saw that they took away about 40 booths at New York for next year.
Are you sure?
I looked at the floor plan. Yep. I want to say 46 to be exact, or 36.
Huh.
It used to be, 4 corner booths and then 5 booths in between, like three on each side. Now it's just 2 on each side.
Well, the good thing about that show is if they feel like it, they can always add more booths.
Yeah.
By just moving the back wall further back. And since it's the raffle, so it's not like you're pissing off an exhibitor if you move it back further.
Use this.
You just make another row of islands. I'll ask them about it.
Vinegar in it.
But yeah, I didn't notice that.
So one more thing about the driving. AL said, I think you would be good at bumper cars.
Yeah. No, because you're too heavy. You're too heavy.
Hey, listen, I don't know if they call bumper cars, but you know that little thing when you actually go in the little go-karts and drive?
Well, that's go-karts.
I think during my 10-minute session, the guy had to come on the track and help me get out of a corner like 5 times.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
So when I was telling my coworkers that, hey, I can't drive, like after that, they believed me.
So if you're ever rolling with me and you piss me off and I just pull over, you're beat.
Yeah,
Well,
but
now
it's not.
you'll just call Uber. I'm on the
Yeah,
side of 78.
but it's not that I'm a bad driver. I just cannot drive. Like I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever learned. So it's not, you know.
I'll teach you when
Wow.
you're ready.
Well, you
I'll
can
teach.
come if you come to the Orlando Reefapalooza. You can. I think with the Diamond Pass for Orlando, you also get a trip to the go-kart track.
Ooh. Well, you'll be on Disney. There's so many things to do next year on Disney.
No.
Oh no.
This is a legitimate racing go-kart track. 50 to 60 mile an hour go-karts.
Oh no. Listen. No thanks.
We'll never hear from O again.
Unless there's somebody who I'm extremely mad at and I just feel like crashing into them. I don't know.
No, nobody crashes in these go-karts.
Then there's
one, you could get hurt, and two, you sign the liability that you pay for any damage.
Then I think it's not for me then. I think I'll give that ticket to someone else who deserves it.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think that's for me. Not for me. Not for me. Tank looks great, Alex. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, well, thank you. Just kind of doing a little bit of maintenance. Some of it's not 100%, but minor issues.
What time do your lights go off at?
They go off at 11 p.m. Central is when they're totally dark.
So 12 our time.
11.
Well, 12 Eastern.
Yeah. Sorry, I start them up at noon. So they're on AB Plus, and then I also have T5s on here too. So
What lights do you run on the T5s?
they're Coral Plus and Blue Plus.
All right. Billy, what combo are you running now, Billy?
Huh?
What combo T5s are you running now?
2 ATI Blue Plus, 2 Giesman Super Actinic Blue.
Okay. I feel
And
like you changed it. I feel like you changed the combo on me all the time.
Well, I wanted to see how it looked on video with all the blue, and I think it's just a temporary thing. I've been running blue and blue and actinic for so long, and have had success. So it's not going to be a permanent thing.
What about you, Greg? You're going to run T5. What lights are you going to run on that new build?
Just Radions.
No T5s?
No. If I'm gonna get LEDs, it's because I don't want to change bulbs anymore. So I just can't get myself to.
T5s are for dinosaurs. Just say it.
The T5s are for dinosaurs.
You only have to change bulbs like every year.
And also for people who don't. There's a lot of people who don't believe you can just do it with LED. So all the more reason for me to use straight LED.
Oh
but I don't
boy,
know why
we're not
still think that's.
we're not still having that debate, right?
I know.
Because this summer I was in my LFS and there were some guys arguing over that, and I thought they were about to come to blows. Like that's how serious it got.
Wow.
Jeez.
And I can't believe, like in 2018, we're still having.
I'm not surprised.
Exclusive is asking, what lights are you running now with the T5? I'm using 3 Blue Plus, 1 Actinic. Silly enough, the other day I decided, like, hey, let me try, some Coro. I'm like, nah. I tried some Coro Plus. Yeah. Too white.
Too much of a white look for you?
Yeah. Oh, Aqua Blue Special just almost made me vomit.
Well, Aqua Blue Special, yeah, that's like pure white.
Yeah. Blue Plus, Coro Plus, I think maybe I'll do 2 Blue Plus, 1 Coro Plus, 1 Actinic.
I like to try and keep it kind of balanced. I think the Coral Plus give it a nice little daylight look.
There is a guy on YouTube, Dutch Reefer, and he runs all Coral Plus bulb. And I just like the way his tank looks. I don't know if it's because it's on video or what, but and I asked him, do you adjust the lights to film? He said, no, I just film during the day. And it looks a little bit on the white side, but it just
I ran 2 Blue Plus, 2 Coral Plus for the longest time, and I just found that the Euphilia look better and color up better without the Coral Plus. But I got Reef Brights now to add more blue to the tank, so maybe I'll try it again. I don't know.
All right, Carlos says he runs 2 Blue Plus, 2 Coral Plus with 2 Radions. KC Reefs, yo, what up, guys? When I hear Giesman, just want to say, ooh.
I would have probably gone all Radions. I just, wanted to be able to afford corals at some point.
Well, you don't get them for free, Alex? You don't get them free? I thought you got them for free.
No.
That's sponsored by Ecotech right there.
Trust me, my local supplier asked and tried, and it wasn't happening.
Really?
My tank's not big enough, I guess.
They're just super tight with their money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I budgeted for it, so I put 4 on, and then I said, I had never really messed with T5s before. I had either done power compacts or metal halides. So I wanted to give them a try, and I figured for the cost, I think it was like $600 or something. I put 8 T5s over this with retros. Maybe it was even less than that.
I have a question. What is the question? What's the best? I'm going to direct this one to Billy because he's a T5 guy. What's the best bulb? What's the best bulb combination for the blue look? For
Blue
that
Plus.
crisp blue look. Blue Plus.
Yep.
When
I have 2 Blue Plus and 2 Actinic, it looks just the slightest bit pinkish purple. It's still blue, but like some of the sand, like the sand kind of looks, to me, it looks more purplish than blue. When I turn on the Reef Bright, then it's mostly blue. But yeah, that's why now I have the Giesman and the Actinics, because I didn't have any more Blue Plus left. So I did that temporarily just to have like all blue.
What filter does Alex have on the camera?
I'm using a query clip.
A query clip.
So it just shows you such a difference. So this tank's got a lot of blue because it's starting to run down, but this tank is more white based right now as it ramps down. So,
all right. Dave's nano tanks. What size nano tanks did you have? Does switching from less? I think Exclusive is asking Dave, what size tanks does he have right now? Or what size nanos did he have? I think Exclusive is setting up a 45, so I think he just wants some questions about keeping a smaller tank. AL is saying, I think Tidal Gardens made a video where he showed how the same coral looks under different T5 bulbs. Yeah. I think I remember that being.
Yeah, it was a 2-part video. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And KC Reefs, does switching from T5 from less to T5s do drastic damage to our reef? I guess from LEDs to T5s. I guess that's what he was asking. From LEDs to T5s, do drastic change?
Well, so T5s, they don't put out a lot of par. So in my tank, right, the coral doesn't grow extremely fast, but it's got a lot of color. So it's like with LEDs only and T5s only, you have that, you know, T5s will give you good color and LEDs will give you good growth. So that's why like both would be awesome. But you know, Dave came over with his par meter. I forget what brand it was, what it's called.
Senai.
Yeah, and it has the graph on it. And it tells you it's pretty much set up for a reef tank, and it has a graph on it, and it has like a black outline, and it's pretty much the outline of where your spectrum should be for best coral growth and coloration, I guess. Like it's a guideline. They say if you can get your lines here, you're awesome. So when he came over and he tested my tank for the par and the spectrum, it was like no matter where I put the eye of it, the spectrum was damn near spot on the whole time.
Excellent blending with the T5s. That's what we get.
Yeah. And that was with 2 Blue Plus and 2 Actinic, which I'm going to be switching over to probably in about 5 minutes. So I noticed that my stylos and my bird's nest are just really fuzzy when I have 2 Blue Plus, 2 Coral Plus. I mean, 2 Blue Plus, 2 Actinic.
Hey, Greg, what do you think of the what are they called? These strips. I'm drawing a blank now with the name. The LED strips that everyone uses for like supplementation. What are they called?
Reef Bright?
Reef Brights.
What do I think of them?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, they're just royal blues. I mean, they're nice.
I've never seen like
special about them. It's a royal blue LED.
Yep. A lot of people use them for like supplementing and pop, but I've never seen like a tank with all reef brights.
Right.
Well, Tulio said, because I asked him, I said, can you have a successful reef tank with only reef brights, like the all blues and then maybe the 50/50s? And he hesitated for a second. He goes, no. So.
What? Wait, just no with no context on why?
No, yeah, no.
Huh?
Well, they give you a certain. They're just one color. You know what I mean? They're giving you one spectrum, I guess you could say, out of all the different nanometers that you want, that you're looking for. You know, this one gives you a certain range. You know, you're not able to add, 600s and 500s and 400s. You know, you can't blend the spectrum with just a Reef Bright. You know, it's like turning on only your blues on your Radeon. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get what you're saying. It was just.
I found, and I talked to Murphy as well because he's been running it for a while. The Reef Bright is essentially a T5. You know, the LEDs aren't focused like they are on a Mars Aqua or a Radeon or, something with a lens. You know what I mean? They're just LEDs that hit a reflector. They essentially hit a T5 reflector.
I'm just thinking about what you're saying. I'm thinking the wheels are turning.
Like when my tank it's like from 10 to 10, 15, 10, 20. It's just Reef Bright only, and it looks like it's the coolest blue. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
it makes the pop. I mean, the one thing I've heard about Reef Brights is they absolutely, especially when you're using them for supplement, it absolutely makes the corals pop. And
oh yeah,
everyone,
yeah. Like
everyone
next
who's
time,
ever used
yeah,
them says say that.
yeah. Next time you go to a swap, look at a vendor that's running just Reef Brights over their tank, and their coral looks ridiculously awesome. Like ridiculous. It brings out every fluorescent you can think of in that coral. You know, I've seen them under radions, Kessels, black boxes, strip lights, halides, all that, you know, but that Reef Bright, when it's over a vendor's tank, forget it. It's like an easy sale because it makes the coral look so ridiculous.
Right, yeah, I was just asking about it. I had a private conversation with someone about um, Reef Brights, and I suspected what you guys did. Like you guys said, it's not because I've heard that name a lot. But I've never seen it like around over, like just Reef Brights only over a successful reef tank. So I was
Yeah.
just wondering.
You could put it over. You could definitely put it over like a softy tank for sure. I mean, it'll grow LPS. You know what I mean? It'll keep them. But like for a full mixed reef, you know, because I told him, I said it's a full mixed reef. I have a little bit of everything in there, and he was like, no, I didn't want to go into detail with him because Tulio, he loves to talk. And I was just trying to. I was just,
Interesting. All right. Yep. All right. Someone says they're really expensive. I don't like to talk too much about the price of products too much, but I agree that Reef Brights, they're expensive. I do agree.
Come on.
I do agree. I do agree. All right, guys. Tonight is going to be a shorter stream because my wife is leaving for work tonight. Greg is, I guess he's at Palooza. Are you there, Greg?
Yeah, I'm here. Just a second, guys.
I was going to see if
just give me 30 seconds.
All right, I was going to see if he can give us a sneak peek.
I'll get the camera going.
All right. Oh, he's going to give us a sneak peek. All right. I'll take a sneak peek, right?
Are the vendors showing up right now?
Bro, like I think they have to set up early.
No, in New York, it's set up as Friday.
Well, I'm guessing he's mad at somebody.
He's in boss mode.
that was boss mode?
All right. No, that wasn't boss mode.
The show starts tomorrow or Saturday?
The show starts tomorrow. No. I'm sorry. Move-in is tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're just setting up right now. So you can see they're setting up the pillars. And like that one there.
Wait, who's the number one sponsor for your show?
So we don't have a platinum sponsor. So
okay.
Kessel is the next one, and then everybody else is pretty close to the same.
Okay.
So they're setting up the booths right now.
All right.
Got one tank already set up. Doesn't have water in it yet, but this is our club booth. We have a nice little tank. Let's see.
Oh, there's the tank.
So it's an AGE cantilever tank. So underneath that one end is completely empty. And it's kind of just sticks out. But we set this up last year. AGE made it for us. It's pretty nice. It's got the PVC bottom. with the trim. Of course, since I ordered it in white.
What size are the booths there? 10 by 10?
8x10.
8 by 10.
So, in order for us to get enough booths in here, we had to shrink the booths 2 feet front to back.
Gotcha.
So they're 8x10, and that allowed us to get a whole nother row of booths in here.
Okay.
I went to a show a couple weeks ago, and they dimmed the lights really, really dark, and boy, it made everything look good.
Oh,
You can get
Aqua
away
Show.
with that if your daddy owns the building.
Oh my
And
god.
you ain't got to worry about the fire marshal or anything like that. You get away with that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my god.
was at a hotel.
Oh man. Oh.
So, no, in an event this size, we can't get away with it. Not here at the Marriott.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got
table and chairs. That's it.
tables and chairs. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple. I saw another Red Sea tank right here around the corner. I think this is Ecotech's booth.
Now, what does the average vendor get with a booth? 2 badges and some water?
2 badges, 30 gallons of water, 5 amps of electricity. If they want more electricity, they can buy it. I think it's $25 for every 5 amps. Oh,
What does 5 amps run for you?
a couple little new Nero pumps there.
Grab them. They have my name right on it.
I think he's going to be giving away a bunch of them. I told him save some for us.
I'm only giving away 2.
Only 2.
Yeah, 1 for each day. They're in high demand, so I got 2. But
You have an online raffle ticket that people can buy?
No, that would be nice. Huh? I didn't think about that.
Right?
Hey.
Yeah. Just remember who gave you that idea.
Yeah.
No kidding, Billy. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
I'd probably get like $60 worth.
We're giving away some cool stuff on this one. We're giving away. I think I got a couple Radeon XR30 Pros, a couple of XR15s, L1 MP40s, the Nero pumps. Let's see what else. The aquatic life fixture, that's the T5, and you add your own LEDs.
Ooh.
Several tanks, Red Sea tanks, I think SC aquariums, Crystal Dynamics were a tank from them, Planet Aquarium, a tank from them, an Abyss A200, which no one has ever raffled off.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, how is Planet Aquariums?
If you guarantee me I'll win that pump, I'll buy a ticket and I'll be there. It'll be cheap. That'll be cheaper than actually buying one of those pumps.
Exactly. Planet Aquariums is very similar to an AGE. The 2 owners apparently worked together at Oceanic back in the day. So they use a lot of the same techniques. I prefer the AGE because they also add not just the PVC bottom, but they also add the stainless steel trim. So it just adds another layer of protection for me. So,
Gotcha.
But they're really nice tanks. You know, I mean, they're not on the level of like a Tank Me USA or a what's the other brand? What's the other guy in Miami? Reef Savvy. They're not at that level.
Yeah.
But they're really nice.
I was thinking of having them build me a tank.
Planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. You know, I don't know what kind of deal you can get. I can probably. I mean, the problem is going to be shipping. That's
Yeah.
always the problem.
It's like $300 or $400.
Yeah. So, if they're not local, it's not like you can go pick it up at the store.
Yeah.
So, but I personally, because I'm in California and we deal with earthquakes, I go AGE, and most of the people here in California go AGE over Planet.
Damn,
But then again,
I never thought about that, earthquakes and shit.
But then again, Planet Aquariums has never been to a California show. So it may just be the only reason AGE gets all this business out here is because they're here.
Interesting.
AGE comes to the show every year, and every year they sell a bunch of tanks.
Who would have thought? You have to be there to sell tanks.
Right. Just recently, we've got a huge boost from the companies, from companies coming here simply because they've never come to California. A lot of them just don't want to make the investment because, a lot of these companies are based on the East Coast or in the South, and it's expensive to come out here. But, we have our core group that comes every year, and they must be doing some sort of business because they keep coming back. I know AGE is one of them because they don't do any of the other Reefapaloozas, and I don't think they do Macnas anymore either. They only come to Rap California because it's the one show that they say every time they come, they get lots of orders afterwards.
Oh. Well, the New York show.
They only did it, I think. No, I don't think they've ever done the New York show, and I think they should. But a lot of these companies, good in yourself. A lot of the companies, they just don't want to invest in the travel to do it.
Mm-hmm.
AGE is kind of smart. Ahead of time, they'll put it out there on the forums. Hey, does anybody need a tank? And if you need a tank in California, we'll make you a deal. We'll build it, display it at the show, and you can pick it up after the show. So basically, they come in with a tank that someone else has already paid for. They display it, and they walk away with nothing. They don't have to pack nothing up to go home. Just pack their clothes and go. So they're just a little more creative. A lot of these other tank manufacturers, they come with all these tanks, and then they're trying to sell it at the show and whatnot, and it never works out.
Yeah.
AGE builds usually two tanks, one for the raffle, one for, which is like a frag tank or a small tank, and then one for the display, which is someone else's tank. And then, that's it. They just walk away at the end of the show.
I always wondered what happened to those tanks after the show.
A lot of them go back home, but when you're dealing with a company that's out of state, whatever it cost them to ship it there, it would cost them that to ship it back.
Yeah, and you still have to pack it up, clean it out.
Yes.
All right.
So,
I you know what? At Macna, when I was asking about a few tanks, people told me, "Oh, that's already sold." I didn't want a tank to buy, but I looked at some tanks and said, "Oh."
Right.
Yeah, there were people who bought the setups as they were on the displays. There were people that bought them.
Put more tables in their still before we left them.
I gotta go. I'm illegally parked. So
yeah, you're good.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.
Sorry about that, O.
No problem. I think
Okay.
I am probably gonna end in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm leaving the show right now anyway.
Yeah.
We're all done. I just had to bring that stuff in, and by tomorrow morning, they should be done with all this, and we'll start moving in exhibitors.
All right. All right. So Reefapalooza, California this weekend. For those of you guys on the West Coast, please check it out. Greg, if you text me photos, man, I'll spam social media, Facebook, everywhere with it.
Awesome.
Just send me photos throughout the day. I will definitely, whether it's tomorrow when they're setting up, Saturday, just spam social media. I'll put it on social media for you.
Okay.
And if Saturday, if a live stream works, I'd be happy to kind of do that. Absolutely.
Right.
Liverpool is not playing Saturday, so I'm free Saturday. Sunday can't do it. Liverpool plays at Sunday, but Saturday.
So you're into football.
I am into football, so 12
Soccer.
o'clock on Saturday,
Soccer.
which is 9 o'clock your time. 9 o'clock your time, 9 to 11 your time Sunday, I'm completely shut down. And if my team loses, I'll be shut down for a few other hours after that. But, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. It's been a good night. It's been a really good night. I think I learned a lot from everyone tonight. I got some stuff to go do with my tank. Thanks, Billy, for jumping in. Thanks, Alex, for showing us. I think we're seeing some microscope stuff. Is that a copepod eating detritus, Alex?
That is an amphipod.
Oh. Hey, Billy, you had a thing about Mike's Fido today. I need to talk to you about that because his prices are really reasonable. So I got some stuff to ask you before. But Billy did a video about Mike's phytoplankton, and pods. And I bought stuff at the store. I've also bought stuff online, and I've never seen the pods dancing around in the bottle like that before. So thank you, Billy, for joining. Thank you again, Alex. Thank you, Greg.
No problem.
As always.
You're welcome.
And,
thanks for having us.
Everyone in the chat, Dave for the link, Nat King, KC Reef. There was a lot of people tonight. Too much to do the full roll call. But thank you, everyone. And I will see you guys at next week. Same time, same place next week.
You never know. We might go on this weekend.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yes. We'll see you Saturday. Saturday. There's no football Saturday, so yes. There's no Liverpool football. There's some other teams like Manchester United, but we don't care about them. So
I'm hearing there's some really cool stuff coming to the show this year. That new MaxPuff skimmer that they showed on Reef Builders.
You know what?
Is on its way here.
Hey, so Greg, all right, you know what? I'm gonna call you tomorrow, and if you could take some cell phone video of this stuff.
If they
just
put
some
it
cell
out
phone
tomorrow,
video.
That's the problem. They don't always put the special things, out. So,
all right.
You never know.
But you have an iPhone. If you can take some video of it tomorrow or Saturday, I might be able to put something out for you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Good. Have a good night,
guys.
Billy. Thanks again. Good night, Dave. Thanks a lot.